Hello guys, welcome back. So in this one we are going to attach a script and make our functionality work. So before that I've just gone ahead and I have renamed this rigid body 3D to ball, and in the main scene also I have renamed it to ball just to make more sense. So let me just close this window. So now the rigid body is there as the name ball, and it has two components. One is the mesh that is being rendered over here, and one is the collision that is defined. Now where should I add my script? So generally in Godot, if you work, so if you are working on a component based system, so it is a good idea to attach a script in the root component, so as you can later on refer to other components easily within that. And if it is not necessary, then you should attach the script to the root component only. But in case only if it is a specific requirement that you want a separate script in other nodes, then you should add a script there. So I am just going to right click and I am going to click on attach script, or else I could have clicked on this button. So let me just attach a script, and for the name, let me just name it as our player controller. So the name has to be descriptive, because the player controller, why I have named it, because it's essentially going to control how the player is going to control the ball. So that's why. Now I'll click on the folder icon in order to set my path, and I want to set this one inside the scripts. So I'll click on open, and from here everything looks fine, and I'll click on create. So now my basic code has been created. So what I'll do is I'll simply delete everything, because we will be going through its functionality in a deep now. So now what is happening here is when I hit on play, my functionality is, I mean, my requirement is that if the ball goes out of the screen in any manner, either in upward direction or in downward direction, so the script has to notify the game that okay, the ball has left the screen, and now we have to trigger the game over event. Okay, so how do we do that? So we could have uh, do some long methods, calculate screen area, and then manually check the position of the ball if it is greater than or below some offset, and then only we'll trigger. But luckily Godot has saved us a lot of time, because they already provide one such node which can do that, and that is basically the visibility notifier. So this is visible on screen notifier, and this is visible on screen enabler. So we have to use visible on screen notifier 3D, so we'll add that node. And what that node basically does is, whenever your mesh, whatever the root mesh that is connected to this node goes out of the screen means whatever your active camera is viewing. So whenever it is going out of the render area of the active camera, so it is going to raise an event. Okay, so now how do we listen to an event? So I have connected this node, and let's say its node is doing its work. So how do I know that when this event has fired? So for that we have a system in Godot called signals. So every node, if we are using a class, so that node may have some set of specific signals, basically an events that occurs only on specific, when specific requirements meet. So for this node, my specific requirement is this node will trigger an event whenever this mesh will go out of the screen. So how do I access the events or the signals which is there? So click on the node, whatever node, and then you go to the node tab, and here you have two tabs, groups and signals. So inside the signals you will see there is two signals is there, screen entered and screen exited. So as the name suggests, we want that to look for this function, because it's screen exited. So whenever the screen exited will trigger, means the mesh is out of the screen boundaries. So we just have to double click on this one. So now double clicking on this one will basically open a pop-up window where you have to choose where you want to process this event. So my script is attached on the ball, basically the root node. So wherever my script is there, I can attach this event only there only. So here my script is attached to the ball, so I'll select the ball and I'll click on the connect. So right away you'll see that my ball script is now having a function on visible on screen notifier 3D screen. So it's basically a big name. So let me just make it a little bit smaller so now that you can see. So this is the function name it has already generated for us, and that is fine. So instead of pass here, let's just print went outside the screen. Okay, so my expectation is whenever my ball goes outside of my camera viewing window, this message should come up. So let's see if that comes or not. So I'll hit on play, my ball goes down, and right away you will see went outside the screen. So my notifier is working properly. So let's just say that for now we'll just say game over, because we'll check if the player game over is there or not. Now our node configuration is done, and here we will just define its in one single line of comment we will define what this function is doing. So processing signal for game over event.